our email list, okay? Or to volunteer at a future event. So, at the table, want to wave for me? Great. At the table, we are happily accepting donations to support Almi's campaign. Please, thank you in advance for your support. It's very much appreciated. I also want to point out to some important deadlines that are going to be coming up, okay? Starting February 14th, we'll be collecting signatures to secure Almi's spot on the ballot. Yes. You must be a registered Democrat who lives in the city of Erie to sign. We're going to get as many signatures as possible so we have more than enough to secure Almi's spot. Watch your email and for information about where you can, where the signatures will be collected. The voter registration deadline is April 17th. April 17th is the voter registration deadline. That's also the deadline to change your party affiliation to Democrat so that you can vote for Almi. And yes, you are allowed to change your affiliation to vote in the primary. So, and of course, the primary is May 16th, and the general election is November 7th. Be sure to sign up with one of our volunteers so that we can keep you in the loop and get everybody out to help get out the vote. Now, to start us off, we would like to welcome Monsignor Tom McSweeney.
Hi everybody, I am Monsignor Tom McSweeney, a retired priest of the Catholic Diocese, but I tell you, when I got the call from Almi, I came out of retirement. I'm back for active duty with this campaign. I've been asked to make a few remarks, and I get the wonderful distinction of being able to introduce Reverend Sean Clerkin, and then he will be introducing the one that we really want to hear from today. But I wanted to take a little moment, since I go back so far with Almi and Sean, and I look at Jean over there. I can't help, Jean, but think today about Alex. Alex Clemente. That may be just a name to some of you, but those of us as a young kid, when I was at Cathedral Prep, coming over to Gannon to do some shows, there was Alex Clemente. He was writing plays, and we were performing them in the Carriage House behind what is now the foundation, the Erie Community Foundation, and doing plays in there. And I never quite knew what Alex was up to for what he did for a living, because he was doing these plays. He wasn't teaching at Gannon. And then I came to find out that, he worked for the school district, and he was doing lots of things in the arts there, and processing applications for people in the school district. And I said to him at one time, what is it that you really do? And he explained to me basically what he did in education and how much he loved the theater. And he said, I look at all these applications, and it says up there job or position. And he said, Tom, they got to change that from job and position to vocation. What are you called to do? You don't take a job, you do something that you really love, and you might want to call it a job or a position. But it's a vocation. It's something you do because you love it. In our little theater community here in Erie, we're a bunch of amateurs. You've heard about amo, amas, amat, amateur, to love. We do it because we love it and we feel the calling. I tell you, my dear friends, that this gal, Almi, and her husband at her side, they've got the calling. They've got the vocation. They have the love for this community, built now on a strong history and tradition of building community through theater and the arts and involvement in so many other aspects of our community. That's Almi and Sean to me, and it draws a great line all the way back to Alex Clemente, who did so many things not only at Gannon. There's a little theater named up there for Alex Clemente out at the campus out northeast for Mercyhurst. It's a family of involvement and support. I also remember very much another person in our community who really stood out as a wonderful mayor, Lou Tullio. And I was telling him that I was a priest at Gannon teaching, and I was going to go and I was going to get my doctorate and so forth. He said, "Oh, no, Father, you don't need one of those things. You don't need all that documentation. Everything is, just continue to do what you're doing." He was the one for keeping people here in Erie and not sending them out for, shipping them out to do other things or to get documents to certify yourself. You certify yourself in your work. And what you're doing, there's your proven document. There's your vocation writ large in what you do. And I'll never forget that Lou at one time, he had a little, my mother was a switchboard operator down at the Erie Times. He had a little gift for her because every time he called down there at the Erie Times, my mom would always make sure she got plugged into, those are the days of doing this. And he had a little gift for my mother, and he called over it again, and I came over to pick it up. And he said a remarkable thing to me, again, this idea of calling. You build upon the good that you see. That's exactly what he said. Build upon the good that you see. I don't know if we were going through some financial crisis in the city or whatever, but Lou Tullio was always out there looking for the good in the community, finding good in me, and encouraging me to stay here and to become part of this community in a productive way. It reminds me too of the old Christopher saying, light one candle rather than curse the darkness. Do something positive. Being negative and tearing down or being divisive, that doesn't bake a cake or build a bridge. It doesn't do anything positive. And I look at Almi, and I look at her husband Sean, Father Sean, and I see people who are constantly building upon the good. And this is going to lead me, of course, to my introduction of Sean. I was there at the scene of. How many years ago?
31.
31 years ago. And it wasn't snowing at that time, but we were over at St. Peter's. And there were these two young ones, starry-eyed for each other, Almi and Sean. And I was the lucky one who got to stand real close there and to officiate and get the I do's out. My dear friends, the day that happened, their I do's merged into a vision, a vocation that they share. So I want to encourage us to learn about their background, to study the ways in which they've been involved in the community in ways that many of us are not really aware of. The way that they have extended themselves out to academia. I mean, good heavens, Sean and his work through Gannon. Young people have had opportunities to compete in international competitions. Sean is a priest. Sean is in the Episcopal Church, and he works and ministers to people on a daily basis. That's another aspect to this team, but with this leader, Almi, she's going to keep everybody in place. I tell you, they are hand in glove. And I know the history, Sean and Almi. I was at my brother's over Christmas, and one of the great-grandchildren kept running up to Uncle Tom, great Uncle Tom. And, my brother said, "Listen, I know he's bothering you. This is all you have to do with, little kids here. You just pick them up and you twirl them around. With their feet flailing in the air." And so I said, "Well, show me how you do it." So then he does it and so forth. And their son is Sean. The little Sean, after he gets he runs up to me and says, "Do it again." Do it again. Sean, Almi, do it again. Do it again for Erie. Do it again for Alex. Do it again for each one of your friends here who are so blessed to have your friendship, and this community deserves your leadership. Thank you so much, Almi. Here's Sean.
Okay, I'm ready to play a supporting role. First of all, I want to thank you. My wife and I are given the gift of tears, which means we cry when we're really happy. And so that might happen today, and I apologize in advance, but it means that this is real. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here today. This is exciting. We were hoping this beautiful Erie January afternoon to have maybe 25 or 30 people here, and you are exceeding my expectations right off the bat. We were also hoping to be able to launch with such a great energy, and you're already exceeding my expectations on that as well. I see so many people from so many walks of our lives. I'm seeing our Gannon friends, I'm seeing Villa and Prep friends, I'm seeing our connections through our faith communities, the Episcopal Church and the Roman Catholic Church, and every other church and faith community, and all of you who are secular humanists, we love you too. Because you have faith that we need to understand as well. And I'm also seeing, what other constituent, oh gosh, the Erie Playhouse. I'm so thankful for all of you for being here. This is an amazing coalition of friends, and we are really excited to hopefully serve you in the next 4 to 8 years. First of all, 31 years I've known Almi, which means I know her in a way that no one else knows her. On Monday night, however, though, Monday and Tuesday, we had an opportunity to go to Harrisburg for the swearing in of a friend of ours who is now our state senator. I won't say his name or anything because I don't want to complicate things, but boy, was that an exciting time. And what a gorgeous, all right, it's Dan Laughlin. Senator Dan Laughlin, Peggy, his wife, is here. And one of the things that happened is we had a chance to just get the buzz about what it means to be a leader and to represent people and to do good work for people. And one of the things I also learned was talking with other people. People know Almi Clerkin. A lot of people know Almi Clerkin. And one of the constituents came up to me and said, you know why I really like the idea and I'm supporting her campaign? And he said, I can't do openly, and I won't say so. He said, because she gets it done. But he didn't say it. He said, she gets it done. And so I thought back on that, and I thought, a lot of people have turned to Almi because she gets it done. Just when she first started out of undergraduate school at Gannon, she had her BA in business management, and by the way, she was just named the Gannon University's outstanding alumna in the area of business and engineering. She left that job, took a job at Mercyhurst, where she coordinated the very first, I believe, old-fashioned 4th of July celebration, which was very big there. She also worked with Dr. D'Angelo on the Young Artists competition. And why did they turn to Almi? Why did they turn to my wife? Because she gets it done. A few years later, she turned to her alma mater, Villanry Academy, where she was invited to be the development director, where she established scholarships, where she raised money to make sure that that school continued to the place where it is today through difficult times, and now again it is producing extraordinary students and wonderful opportunities for people. And why did Villanry Academy and the Sisters of St. Joseph turn to Almi Clerkin? Because she gets it done. Okay, you see where we're going with that, right? Then later on, the Erie Playhouse turned to her. They had this wonderful growing youth theater performance and production opportunities, but they wanted to concretize it and make it more serious. They wanted their first full-time youth theater director, and she did that job for 10 years, working with literally tens of thousands of young people and even more parents and grandparents and volunteers. And why did the Erie Playhouse turn to her to get that job done? Because she gets it done. Why did they turn around again after having employed her for 10 years, invite her, 15 years, invite her to step in as executive director, where she has, since her time there, built that organization up, exceeded the expectations. She has increased the number of full-time paid artists in Erie. That is unheard of. She now has more than 12 full-time people working there. And she won't say working for her, she will say working with her. She is collaborating with them. And then on top of that, what did I miss there? Oh yes, so here she is doing that. And why did the Erie Playhouse turn to Almi to do this work? Yes, it's done. All right, so it's our turn. It's now the time for Erie Week. We are at the start of a new era. This is not the end of Erie. We are not about to see the decline of this city. We are about to see the explosiveness of Erie, Pennsylvania. And Erie has an opportunity now to turn to somebody who is trustworthy, who is dedicated, who is spiritual, and who is loving, and who happens to be my wife. And why do I turn to her every day of my life? Because she gets it done. Let's turn to Almi and hear what she has to say, because she is about to get it done for Erie. Almi Clerk.
As we embark on this journey together. I do want to thank first Sean, of course, for his love and commitment and patience. A lot of patience, everybody. To Monsignor McSweeney, lifelong friend, trusted friend, confidant. We're so glad you're here today. And thanks to all of you, of course, for being here today. And I think it's a beautiful Erie day outside. I love it. Thanks to our son, Seamus, the giant back here. He's built with patience. And where's my mom? There's my mom. So for her example and support. My inspiring campaign chairs, Gloria and Wally Knox, who will be here shortly. They're at a big birthday party for a 90-year-old person. That's really important. And to the dedicated steering committee, which a lot of people are behind me here and out there. To my childhood and lifelong friends, Terry and Linda and Peggy and Mary, who stood by me shoulder to shoulder for everything. Best friends you could ever have. And to David and Mary Ann Kozak for their encouragement and optimism as well. So, many of you know me, as Sean said, from the Erie Playhouse, and I've had the pleasure and the opportunity of leading this award-winning community theater through major transitions for 10 plus years with the best dedicated staff and board anybody could work with. It's been an enormous privilege to steer our city's one of their largest and most respected arts organizations through 100 years and into our second century. So proud of that. We talk often how lucky we are to be here at this time in this history and at this point, so we are very fortunate. So when I announced my intention to run for mayor, I surprised a few people, just a few. But after all, I've never run for an office before. But I also know that many people, especially the ones that do know me best, were not surprised. They know that I'm passionate about Erie, the place where I've lived for more than 50 years, and to them and to me, running for mayor makes sense. It makes sense. But being passionate about Erie does not mean it'll make you a great mayor. It takes tenacity and administrative experience. Entering this race was not a decision made lightly by our family. But just as I felt called to public service in the nonprofit sector, I feel called to serve in a new way as your next mayor. I have both the passion and the experience that being mayor demands. Yet being mayor won't be a job, a line on my resume. It's not a step towards something bigger, a more ambitious political goal. For me, it's my vocation. Like in my work at the Playhouse, it cannot be done sitting behind a desk. Erie's next mayor must be engaged and energetic, must provide inspiring and creative leadership, and a vision that includes building coalitions and partnerships to move Erie forward. And that's why I'm running for mayor. I stand here today not only to declare my candidacy, but to ask for your support for these next 20 weeks and beyond, and for your vote on May 16th. The field is crowded, and in the next coming weeks, a few more people will be announcing and declaring their intention to run. So please get involved. AlmiForErie.com. We'll have all the issues facing Erie there and my priorities and vision for addressing them. And sign up to volunteer, and if you're able, please consider to make a donation to ensure that this journey comes to a successful outcome. And again, I'm not a politician, frankly, never planned to be one. Growing up in my family, serving others is what we did. If you can hold out a hand to a neighbor, make their day a little better, lighten their load, then you did your work. And those are values that were instilled in me at St. Peter's and Villa Maria Academy and Gannon University. These are also the values that Sean and I worked to instill into Seamus. And seeing him today, I think we did an okay job. And serving you will be what I will do as your mayor. Gloria and Wally, yay! She loves to be in the spotlight, huh? Sorry. Thank you. Who am I running for? I'm running for the kids who go to school every day in buildings that are crumbling, with books losing pages, where basic and essential programs and after-school programs are being slashed. The mayor has no official role in Erie School District, but let me be clear. What happens in our city schools affects every single one of us. If we're failing our children, like this great kid right here, then we are failing generations to come. I'm running for parents who make a home for their family despite struggling to find work or working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the bills. Parents who depend on public transportation to get to work, and parents who are fearful for the safety of their children every single day. Peggy and Dan and Sean and I were just up at the Booker T. Washington Center about an hour and a half ago, listening to Sonia Arrington and her work and her passion and her hope for the future of this city. It's something we all need to jump on board and help with. And that hope and inspiration, these women were spectacular. And she also said, don't forget about the men in that community, which I do sometimes. We just think about the mom, not the dads. But they're there, and they want a better community for their children, and we will do that. I'm running for young professionals who worked hard to get through school. They enter the job market to work only to find out they can't get a job without experience, and you know the rest, but they can't get experience because they can't get hired. So I'm also running for people who've been laid off and those who live with uncertainty and the prospect of getting that pink slip. I'm running for people who have lived in Erie their entire lives. Who's that in this room? We got a few? Okay. And we reminisce about the past and deep down know that things that truly make our city great have never, ever gone away. I'm also running for the people who move out of the city to Mill Creek or Fairview or Harbor Creek, but who recognize the need for a vibrant city at the heart of our county. I'm running for the men and the women and the children who fled their home countries to escape war, persecution, and living conditions you and I cannot even understand. They found sanctuary in Erie, and their cultural diversity has enhanced our city for centuries. Think of our families and our trees. They've come here. Erie is and has always been a city rich with culture, and no matter your background, I'm running for you. I'm running for the members of the LGBT community who don't know what a new presidency will mean for their future, for their rights, and for their families.
Thank you.
I'm running for senior citizens. Senior citizens who know a Social Security check isn't what it used to be. For empty nesters whose kids and grandkids have moved away in search of greener pastures, and for all the people who are forgotten, ignored, and brushed aside. I'm running for all of you because I know you and I'm one of you. And for those of you, you know what that comes from. Do I look like her? brothers Sal and Paul and me, plan the work, work the plan. And for decades, we've listened to career politicians promise change. We have commissioned studies, and we've developed new plans. But change that is needed hasn't come to Erie yet. So Erie's done a lot of planning. Let's turn those plans into action and get the work done. So the Erie Refocused Comprehensive Plan lays a detailed roadmap for Erie to move forward. And you can find this 106-page plan at almiforerie.com. We combine that with the Emerge 2040, Focus Partnership for the Erie's Region Future, and Erie Downtown Partnership Master Plan. And all this will take us in the 21st century Erie we want Erie to be. The missing ingredient is the leader, willing and able to bring these pieces together. An experienced executive who will oversee that the details are implemented, who will build bridges when challenges appear, who will encourage and support all the invested partners, as well as move to the overarching goal of a better Erie for every single person. And I'm that leader who's going to get the job done, and I will lead and run for you. We can create opportunities by cultivating innovation and entrepreneurship. Let's build on the strengths of our existing businesses, our college, our universities, and the nonprofit sector. Erie's a great, great place to start a new business. We can strengthen our economy and expand the tax base by supporting employers already here, large and small, and the new ones. That means working to connect people with resources that they need. And that's something I've done my entire career. And we can build better neighborhoods. A strong neighborhood needs strong partners. So let's empower the community organizations and associations that already exist so that their neighborhoods have the resources they need to address poverty, drug addiction, struggling schools, beautification, and unemployment. We can restore hope in our community. Every resident on every block, in every neighborhood of our city deserves to live in a safe, healthy environment. No parent should lose a child to violence. Every life has value. Every life has value. Children should be free to be children, and no dream for the future is too big or too small. I am running for their future. I really believe that our days, our best days, are yet to come. These past few weeks, I have been overwhelmed and excited by people who just stop me on the street, total strangers, and say, "Hey, you're that lady on TV. You're running for mayor, and you sound really positive about that." Okay, I can't help it. I cannot help being optimistic about Erie's future. This is so exciting. We will face challenges and opportunities head on. We do that every day. We can do this. And let's not forget what's already great about our region. Our tri-state location, our bayfront and beaches, the arts, the culture, and history in our community, the businesses and organizations who are civic-minded, and most importantly, the people. Erie's greatest strength and resource has always been the people. Tough, strong, resilient, caring, proud. So no matter what our unique gifts and talents or perspectives are, together we can face every single challenge. So, I've never been shy and stepping away from a challenge. Now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to stand up. We are at a crossroads, and the stakes could not be higher. We can do better, and we will do better. We owe it to our children, our neighbors, our strangers, future generations to make our city stronger than ever, ever before. Erie's best days are yet to come. And as your mayor, I will put my heart and soul into being your leader, your advocate, your champion, and your voice. So let's rise to the challenge together. Let's move Erie forward together. Let's fight for a better, brighter, bolder future together. Thank you so much for being here today. Your support means everything to me. Thank you. travel to do something else. Thank you. There is hot chocolate, coffee, and some snacks. Please help yourself. Dear friends, as you mingle, a huge thank you to Sam Hyman for being here today to play. He's so talented. He's going to play a little more. And thank you to my cousin's husband, Greg Gardner, for setting everything up. You rock.